Everybody, this is a 2-minute warning. If everybody could please take their seats, we'll get ready in about 2 minutes. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Duquesne University. My name is Brian Colonna. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Development and Corporate Partnerships. We do have a packed agenda today and some very exciting news, so I will be brief. 3 years ago, we as in Duquesne Athletics changed our path. The direction we took came with new leadership and new vision. We started treating Duquesne University Athletics as not just another member of the Atlantic 10 or NEC Conference, but as a department with purpose who not only strives to become a more valued member of those conferences, but who wants to win. So we started putting the pieces together in order to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and most important, to provide our student athletes with the resources they need to be successful in competition and in the classroom. Which is where I will stop and introduce the man who made all of this possible because of his leadership and his vision, our Director of Athletics, Dave Harper.
Thanks, team, Brian. Thanks, team. Good morning and welcome. This day has been a day that we've looked forward to for quite a time. But before we begin today, I just would like everybody to keep the family of Jalen Brown, the Duquesne student athlete who passed a few weeks ago, in your prayers, please, and your thoughts. The family continues to go through the process of celebrating his life and healing, so keep them in your prayers. I have to tell you, I'm so humbled and honored to be up here. It's by my role. There are probably 200 people that should be standing up here as a team that made this possible. Today's announcement is a collective effort of administrators, coaches, staff across the university, and most importantly, a wonderful, selfless, and generous group of benefactors. About 22 months ago, we embarked on a mission to reimagine our athletics facilities to assure we could position our brand, our competitiveness, our recruiting, and strengthen our position in the Atlantic 10 and Northeast conferences. What we discovered on that mission was not just an opportunity to strengthen our position in athletics, it was an opportunity to strengthen our position across the board. Think boldly, impact the city of Pittsburgh, and most importantly, impact coaches, staff, and students. In any successful journey, there are many to thank along the pathway, but it's not possible to be here today without so many great people, corporations, and organizations that made this all possible. In any long journey, there's always someone that has to take the lead. And we are so pleased today to announce that our lead partner in this project is UPMC. Today we are here to announce our mission achieved. It comes in the form of UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. As I mentioned, it takes strong partners to realize a vision. We are extremely blessed that UPMC will be our naming rights partner for this project. At this time, I would like to invite Leslie Davis, Senior Vice President and Executive Vice President and COO of UPMC Health Services Division, Diane Holder, Executive Vice President and CEO of the UPMC Health Plan, along with Chuck Cooper III, son of legendary basketball player Chuck Cooper, to come up to the stage. To mark this occasion, we have a little memento, so Ken, Leslie, Diane, Chuck, if you could all gather over here for a moment. So I'll let the three of you do the grand unveiling here. So. For those of you that are in the back, we have a student, Brendan Bazan, here at Duquesne that has done a number of shoes for different occasions, and this is an occasion. We took the Celtics colors, obviously UPMC logo and Chuck Cooper's legacy, so that's a memento for the occasion, and then obviously we'll have more pairs when the building's open, too. Yeah, so. At this time, I'd like to invite Leslie Davis up to the stage to make a few remarks for UPMC.
Thank you, thank you. What most of you don't know about me is that I actually played basketball in high school. I know that's hard to believe because I'm 5'3½", and I was a forward, but I sat on the bench at every game, but my dad came and watched me. And it's true, you can laugh, but I think that's what's so great about athletics. It actually gave me a lot of confidence sitting on that bench, so I just wanted you to know that. But we at UPMC are thrilled to be the leading partner with Duquesne University on this exciting project to renovate this important space to be enjoyed not only by the students, the staff, and the faculty here, but by our uptown neighbors, many of whom have been here for a long time, and many who will become our new neighbors, creating and attracting to Uptown the opportunities that this renovation will create. We are excited to think of the many thousands of people from outside of our area who will be impressed by this magnificent new venue and the vibrancy that it will create inside and outside of its walls. I just found out today that our president was born at UPMC Mercy, and we have had long-standing, long-time partnerships with Duquesne, and UPMC remains firmly committed to Uptown, not only as a healthcare provider, but also as a community partner. We applaud Duquesne University's leadership team for its vision of excellence and its desire to provide nothing less than world-class facilities and services for this local community and beyond. And as we have done with the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry and the UPMC Rooney Sports Medicine Complex on the south side, we look forward to helping you to make this UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse a crown jewel for this university, for Pittsburgh, and for all of Western Pennsylvania. So I thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce my colleague and the head of our insurance division and the UPMC Health Plan, Diane Holder.
Hi, well, it's just terrific to be here and to be part of this wonderful celebration. The UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse is a spectacular symbol of UPMC's ongoing, passionate commitment to providing long-lasting health in this community, health benefits. We've been honored to be able to offer health insurance to the Duquesne community, the business community here, and to continue to promote what we believe is an important goal for all of us to have the healthiest generations to come. The UPMC is a leading healthcare provider and insurer, and with Duquesne's stature as a top university, together strengthen our partnership to really ensure world-class sports medicine for student athletes, comprehensive health and wellness services for all, and affordable health insurance. You know, we can only do this type of collaboration with organizations that truly share a vision for passion and excellence like Duquesne does. And so we are honored that you chose us to participate with you. Duquesne University has long been one of our city's treasures and one of the finest institutions in town, and we couldn't be more pleased and excited to be here with you today. Thank you.
So when you're looking at a career opportunity like I did about 3 years ago at Duquesne, you don't get to take in everything. You're kind of whisk in, whisk out, and then when you get here, you kind of have to take a collective side. But one thing, when I first toured, when I was looking at working at Duquesne, I was in the basketball offices, and I noticed this jersey from the Boston Celtics with Chuck Cooper's name on the back in this little frame on the back hallway. And I said to myself, we got to do something about that. We have to do something about that. And then I had the pleasure of meeting Chuck Cooper III and learning more and more about the story, the family, and I'm glad we did something about that in the right way and in the right fashion. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Chuck Cooper III.
Good morning. Wow. Whew, I'm almost at a loss for words, and those who know you, know me, know that that doesn't often happen. But what a tremendous honor. On behalf of the Chuck Cooper family, the Chuck Cooper Foundation, and all the friends of legacy, of my father's legacy, I want to thank Duquesne University Board of Directors, President Gormley, Dave Harper, and everyone who's played a role in this wonderful tribute. To see Duquesne University named this premier facility in recognition of my father's legacy is an incredible honor, and we are extremely grateful. My father loved and cherished this university, and I think the bond with Duquesne University was really forged back in my dad's freshman season, back in 1946-47. University of Tennessee came to Duquesne to play a game, and they didn't want to play if Chuck Cooper was allowed to participate. So they took a team vote, and my father said, hey, whatever you guys want to do is okay, I understand. and they took a team vote, and they sent University of Tennessee home without a game. And he never forgot that. Never forgot that. You know, sometime in life, when you do the right thing, you know, oftentimes, most of the time, it should happen all the time, but when you do the right thing, good things happen. You know, because Duquesne stood by my side, the top African-American ball players in the country wanted to play for Duquesne. Players like Jim Tucker, who had the University of Kentucky right in his backyard. His coach called Duquesne and said, hey, I can't take Jim Tucker, but I know you can, because they already set the precedent with Chuck Cooper, Cy Hugo Green, Dick Ricketts, the Ricketts brothers. They ended up winning the NIT. Duquesne was a national championship in 1955. So again, when you do the right thing, good things happen. In his senior season, my dad was named team captain. That's very rare at a predominantly white institution. So he always told me not only did he get a great education, but he got a chance to develop his leadership potential and certainly become an All-American basketball player, which led to his historic career in the NBA. He continued his pace setting off the court. A lot of people don't know this, but my father actually became the first African-American department to head a city of Pittsburgh department when Pete Flaherty named him the director of Parks and Recreation back in 1970. And he also became PNC, Pittsburgh National Bank, the predecessor's first urban affairs officer, which today would be a diversity and inclusion position. So he was Pittsburgh proud. He was very passionate about this community and the people and Duquesne University. In 2009, Duquesne, I got a call from the great late Steeler Hall of Famer, Bill Nunn. And Bill mentioned to me that Duquesne University, PNC, and the Ruling family wanted to create a Chuck Cooper Classic basketball game. So I knew how my father felt about Duquesne University. I knew how he felt about PNC. He was the rising star there under the leadership of Merrill Gillen back in the day. And I knew how he felt about the Rooney family, the first family of Pittsburgh. So to say yes was a no-brainer. But what they didn't know is I don't do anything in my father's name without an educational component. So we established the Chuck Cooper Foundation. To date, the Chuck Cooper Foundation mission is to continue the legacy of my father by awarding graduate-level scholarships and providing leadership development, mentoring, and networking to underserved high school and college students in Pittsburgh. To date, we've awarded, since 2013, when we started awarding scholarships, we've awarded $200,000 in scholarships. $90,000 of that have come right back to students here at Duquesne University. So I continue to look to work with Dave Harper and President Gormley, how we continue to have impact in the community, lifting my father's name. And, you know, to UPMC, Diane Holder, and Leslie Davis, wow. I mean, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I can say. And I was mentioning to Leslie and Diane earlier, to see UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse with the foundation, UPMC has been the #1 contributor to the Chuck Cooper Foundation. So it would not have been possible for us to have that impact and not make that scholarship award without the great support of UPMC. So when I see that name, it really has a much deeper meaning to me, my family, and certainly the students that we serve. In closing, there's a few very special people and organizations that I have to thank. Certainly Dave Harper, President Gormley, and Duquesne University at the forefront of that. The NBA, the Boston Celtics, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Steve Zucchelli, the chairman of my board of directors. If there's anyone more compassionate about the Chuck Cooper legacy than I am, it's Steve Zucchelli, my board chair. Tom and Josh Rooney, my lovely wife, Shelly Cooper, and my daughter, Charlize. When my dad played here, they called him Charlie Cooper, so her nickname is Charlie Cooper. And finally, I know the basketball teams are in the house. I want to thank Coach Burt and the women's team for holding us down, keeping us on the map. You know, they've been accomplishing some great things. And Coach Dambrot has been a tremendous supporter of the Chuck Cooper legacy from day one. And I tell you, there hasn't been a buzz in Pittsburgh about Duquesne basketball, probably since BB played. I know BB's here somewhere. So we're looking forward to all the great things that the men's program is going to accomplish. So I'm going to leave you with this. I'm looking forward to watching the Dukes take people to the hoop at the Coop. How's that? Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you.
Hey, Keith, pressure's on to get a home and home with Tennessee now. So, you know, when you look at your future, like we are today, it doesn't begin, you know, with an idea. You always have to honor your past and your foundation. Tony Palumbo's gift created this site. Without it, Duquesne wouldn't have this current building that they've called home for 30 years. Well, many names will be a part of this project. The Palumbo name will be one that we'll be forever grateful to recognize. Tony is not just given to athletics at Duquesne, but across the board. The nursing school, the business school, faith formation, scholarship. Tremendous impact on this institution. Today, we're so pleased that the patriarch of the Palumbo family, Joe Palumbo, could be here today. Joe. The new A.J. Palumbo Atrium and Complex will house the main entryway to UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, the Vinnie Vaccarello Center, and also a new fan store, concessions, and be our gateway to the athletic offices, academic spaces, and everyone using the building on a daily basis. Every day we walk the ground, we will be proud to know that the foundation was set by the Palumbo family, and we say thank you again. Thank you. When I was 6 months into the job as athletic director, President Charles Doherty and I had a conversation about looking at potential plans for our athletic facilities. And so we set that forth. The conversation led to some more concrete concepts. And I'm so thankful to President Doherty for not only hiring me, but having faith in me to begin the process. As Ken Gormley assumed the presidency at the university, the process continued and grew. He continued to energize our department. He was a partner in strategy, an advocate, passionate about our students, student athletes, and more importantly, our community and the city of Pittsburgh. Ken, I sincerely thank you for letting us bring this home. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the 13th president of Duquesne University, Ken Gormley.
Thanks, Dave, and good morning, everyone. It's a really exciting day for Duquesne University, for UPMC, I know, and for the city of Pittsburgh, which Duquesne has called its home since its founding in 1878, 140 years ago. And today, as we announce plans for the creation of the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, we make another leap forward to better serve our students and the whole city, and particularly our uptown neighborhood, of which we consider ourselves an integral part and a partner. Since its construction in 1988, the A.J. Palumbo Center here has truly been at the heart of Duquesne's campus. There have been many games, many concerts, many convocations, many events. And so on behalf of all of Duquesne University, I join Dave in extending my thanks to the Palumbo family, Mr. Palumbo, for all that has been made possible from these opportunities. And also I want to extend my thanks to UPMC and to the members of its leadership team here, Leslie Davis, Diane Holder, and so many folks here. Leslie and Diane, this investment in this particular project demonstrates UPMC's continued commitment to the future of Pittsburgh, and also our joint missions, the mission of Duquesne University and of UPMC Mercy, our neighbor here, and the vitality, our commitment to the vitality of this uptown community. As Leslie mentioned, I was born at Mercy Hospital, only got a block away. Now UPMC Mercy, so I always say they do great work there. Tom Grealish suggested maybe they dropped me on my head. That wasn't nice, Tom. But it really is special, and we have Mike Grace, the president of UPMC Mercy here. It has always been a partnership, and so we greatly appreciate the chance for that to enter a new stage. And to Chuck and all of the members of the Cooper family here, and I've been so pleased to be friends with you since really the first day of my presidency, but we're thrilled that we can honor the legacy of your father in this passion. He was a true pioneer who broke barriers, but he brought great pride to Duquesne University, Chuck, and he continues to bring great pride to this university, as do you and the work of your foundation. And just as Duquesne did value diversity then, as your story illustrated about the Tennessee game, we continue to cultivate a rich sense of respect and inclusion in the Spiritan tradition. The Spiritans who founded this university were missionaries who came here to give folks chances through education. And so we appreciate, Chuck, your continued collaboration, allowing us to honor your dad's memory for future generations who will be in this building, but on our campus for many, many years to come. And while it is exciting to visualize this building now as UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, it's important, again, to honor the past, all of the gifts given to us by the Palumbo family, and then to think as we enter a new era, how exciting it is that soon a state-of-the-art UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse will not only be at the heart of our campus, but also at the heart of this entire neighborhood and this entire community, serving as a hub for the city's vibrant new Uptown Eco-Innovation District that spans between downtown Pittsburgh and Oakland. And right here on this corridor, we sit at the gateway of it. We are, Mary Ellen Solomon, my chief of staff, and others at Duquesne are conveners of the Uptown Task Force, and we are deeply committed to the Uptown Eco-Innovation District with many great things lying ahead. For that reason, we have elected officials here, but we are thrilled to be able to work together with the leadership of this city and this county and this region, with business, neighborhood, and nonprofit groups to foster economic opportunity, inclusive access, and this is going to be a place for the community to come together and members of this neighborhood to come together, and to foster a smart and efficient infrastructure and green building practices right here in Uptown. This community at which the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse will sit as a sort of gateway will also benefit dramatically from the planned bus rapid transit project, and that has been the brainchild of our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald, and Mayor Bill Peduto. This is going to bring many things to this vital corridor in the region: enhanced access, new and improved bus stations, dedicated bus lanes, protected bike lanes, and new sidewalks and lighting. And when I go around the country talking to alums who haven't been here today, I say this is the most exciting thing going on in Pittsburgh and our region. We sit right on its doorstep, and I've told them that this building here is a key to energizing that entire project for this region. This initiative does represent one of the most significant corporate partnerships in the history of our institution. And as I mentioned, Duquesne University and UPMC share deep roots that really reach back to an earlier time in the late 19th century. At that time, as you know, the city was at the epicenter of the Industrial Revolution in this country. The mills around here and the mines and the factories were teeming with immigrants, mostly from Europe, folks like the families I grew up with in Swissvale, right up the river. Their educational needs and the needs of their children were served by a small Catholic college here, originally Pittsburgh Catholic College, that started in Uptown over top of a bakery, founded by a group of courageous Puritan priests who came here to give these opportunities. And not far away, even at that time, a medical school and several hospitals were being established, eventually unifying this region under an organization that would become known as UPMC, a real driving force here, to make this region a leader in finance, technology, education, and healthcare. UPMC has now grown to become a global health enterprise, of which we are very, very proud, all of us in this city. And sometimes you don't stop to think about it, but I do as I travel around the country and see the impact UPMC has had all around the United States and even the world now. Duquesne, too, is now considered one of America's leading Catholic universities with 9 schools of study, nearly 10,000 students. So our history has included many intersections, many collaborations, many great things partnering together, and today represents another exciting chapter in our shared commitment to our Uptown community and to our region's growth. In addition to support from UPMC, we were able to undertake this UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse project in great part because of a generous $2 million Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program, otherwise known as RCAP, grant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We were selected from among a vast pool of competitive proposals in the state, mainly because we had the most ardent supporters on our side. That RCAP grant will not only support this project, it will help to spur economic development in this entire neighborhood and surrounding community in exciting ways. So we express our deep gratitude to our distinguished elected officials whose support, and not just support, but active pushing in favor of this project was critical to its success, including those who are with us today, the Honorable Wayne Fontana, State Senator from the 42nd District, and we're going to hear from them in a minute, Honorable Jay Costa, State Senator from the 43rd District, the Honorable Rich Fitzgerald, Allegheny County Executive, and Guy Costa, Chief Operations Officer for the city, who's here today on behalf of the Mayor, Honorable Bill Peduto. We also have with us today a representative from the office of the Honorable U.S. Senator Pat Toomey, and we also extend our thanks to Governor Tom Wolf for his continued support of Duquesne University and support of this particular project. And I want to thank also our own board chair, Jack McGinley, our vice chairs, Sam Costanza and Diane Hupp, other board members, Rod Fink, Arnie Burchianti, Scott Lammy, Joe Rocky, Brian Sullivan, Tom Grealish, who's emeritus. I may have missed someone there, but we have a great showing of our own board here to celebrate this day. I know that our athletic director, Dave Harper, will be extending thanks to many more in a few minutes, including devoted alumni, many of you here today, partners and friends of the university. I want to first start by congratulating Dave, whose vision and determination, he mentioned this before I was even, on the job as president, and never stopped mentioning it every day until it got done. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for our athletic director. And I also want to extend my thanks to all of you who continue to support this and countless initiatives, not only within our athletics programs, but also in each of the 9 schools that make up our great university. Thanks to all of you, and you know who you are, for all you continue to do for Duquesne University of the Holy Spirit. We couldn't do it without you. And to our alumni in particular who are here, as I have traveled around the country, and we've hit, Jim Miller and I, over 50 cities now, I've said that our alumni are our secret weapon, and if anyone needs proof of that, look at this gathering today and what we've accomplished here today, and that is proof of it. And it's also so wonderful to see, I see our ladies basketball, women's basketball team up there, and we have some of the men's basketball. This is the home to our women's volleyball team and athletic training for all of our athletic teams. This is a great gift to the university as a whole, but also to this community of which we're a part. And so we look forward to welcoming everyone into the new UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. This is your space too, and we thank you for joining us for this historic day. And now it is my great privilege to welcome to the podium 3 distinguished public officials who are here with us this morning. Without their tireless support, as I mentioned, this day wouldn't be possible. So I'd like to invite up the Honorable Wayne Fontana, State Senator from the 42nd District, the Honorable Jay Costa, State Senator from the 43rd District. He's my neighbor, too. He's my senator, but I was mayor of Forest Hills before Jay was senator. So, and then also the Honorable Rich Fitzgerald, Allegheny County Executive. And so we are so welcome. We are so pleased to have the 3 of you. Could we have a round of applause before they sit down? And so we're going to hear from each of these public servants for a minute. We are blessed to not only have them as our elected leaders, but they're also our friends. And so first, I'd like to ask to come up and say a few words the Honorable Wayne Fontana. He represents the 42nd Senatorial District, which includes this uptown neighborhood. He is also, incidentally, the father and father-in-law of Duquesne alumni. Good job. Welcome, Senator Fontana.
So I feel like I contributed with my son here for a bunch of years. He also got a lot of tickets. I'm not sure why he got all those parking tickets. I guess maybe he was late for class. I'm not sure. He just parked anywhere. But anyway, he graduated and he's doing well. So that education training was well worth it for sure. Good morning, everyone. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. As President Gormley indicated, we're in my district, and certainly glad to be here and share this excitement that's surrounding the future of the Palumbo Center in Duquesne. As I think was mentioned, it's been 30 years since the Palumbo Center opened. So there's sporting events and concerts and graduations and campus and community gatherings. The Palumbo Center has hosted them all and did a great job. But over those years, this venue, you know that it needs reinvented and you need that reinvestment. There's no question about it. You need to move forward. It's so important to Duquesne and the Bluff and the entire uptown community, as was mentioned, and certainly to Allegheny County and the city of Pittsburgh. A lot of that in my district. So I'm certainly excited to be here and be a supporter. Because this building is of significance to both the school and the community, the project actually, as was mentioned, was easy for me to support. And certainly, I'm proud to support the university's request. President Gormley mentioned the RCAP program, and he did mention that it's very competitive. It's not easy to get an RCAP. Only a small percentage of the applicants actually do receive funding. And just to give you an idea how competitive this program is, there was over $2 billion worth of requests, $2 billion worth of requests throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And just here in Allegheny County, there was over $250 million in requests. So it pleases me that of all those requests, we were able to successfully secure funds for this certainly worthy project here at Duquesne. But as was mentioned, it's because of the package, it's because of the other support of certainly Duquesne, naming the building Chuck Cooper, and UPMC coming up and helping, and certainly with my colleagues from local government and state government. Governor Wolf was mentioned, Chief Executive, the Mayor, and certainly my colleague in the Senate, Senator Costa. All of us together, pulling together, makes a difference, and that's what happens here. Working together and supporting a project like this is the reason this happened. So I want to thank President Gormley, certainly for inviting me here today. It's I'm certainly excited about sharing in this special day. And I commend you and your team here at Duquesne, everybody that works at Duquesne, everybody that pushes and pulls with you, because you need that support. You need to work together as we do in government to make things happen. And certainly I want to congratulate you on your vision and wish you the best of luck in this project. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fontana. We appreciate your leadership and your great representation of our university in this district. And now I'd like to introduce a distinguished alum of Duquesne's Law School, the Honorable Jay Costa, State Senator from the 43rd District, who also did send some kids to Duquesne. We appreciate that, Jay. But he played a pivotal role as well in securing funding for our Tri-Bone Center for Clinical Legal Education, as did Senator Fontana and others, which we dedicated back in 2013. So Jay Costa has always been there for us, pushing hard for the best interests of this university. We greatly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Jay Costa.
Thank you very much, Ken, and thank you for certainly, first and foremost, your friendship. Ken, as you mentioned, was the mayor of Forest Hills, and together we've done some pretty good things there. So first thing we did was we took a dry town and made it a wet town. We now have a bar right there. Thank you very much. Hey, I'm honored to be here today and to be part of today's program. Wayne and I and County Executive Rich Fitzgerald and the Mayor's office work closely together in assembling the projects in our region that Wayne talked about that are deserving of resources from the Commonwealth. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Governor Tom Wolf for recognizing how important this particular project was, and the Budget Secretary, Randy Albright, who we brought here to bring a visit to make the case. And there's no one who can make a case better than Ken Gormley about what needs to be done and the role that this particular facility, this revamped facility, will play as we go forward. He talked about the impact it's going to have certainly on Forbes Avenue corridor, the innovation corridor that we're talking about, and how it's going to be able to continue to bring it up through Forbes Avenue and just be an integral part of what's taking place here. So Ken, thank you for the prominence that you've been bringing, first certainly to the law school and the programming in particular that you've done, but more importantly now to the university as a whole. It's been outstanding, and it makes our case easier to make investments along those lines. There's some other folks who I really want to say thank you. As I mentioned, we were playing a small role in this regard, but the folks from UPMC, Leslie and Diane, thank you for your commitment, and all the folks from UPMC. It's outstanding, and it's really important. And it's just, you do the sports medicine stuff, and you do certainly wonderful things in terms of education, and you're building upon that. Your work with the Pittsburgh Prom is renowned. So thank you for those investments. But today you're going to make an investment in a facility that's going to bring together a wonderful experience for the student athletes, and mostly the students who will be here as we go forward. So thank you for UPMC for your continued investments. I'm really happy today because I had not known about the Cooper name being added. And Chuck and I have talked in the past about the role that his father played in this community and how we needed to do more along those lines. And so I'm really pleased that Duquesne, Ken, and Dave, you've taken the time to recognize someone who really was a trailblazer that probably, in my view, hasn't received the recognition in terms of the things that he was able to do to set the trend for so many others who came after him. So, Chuck, I'm really happy for your family, and it's so richly deserved. And to think about all the folks who are going to come here in years to come, student athletes who were going to learn about Chuck Cooper and the role that he played in the NBA and here certainly at Duquesne University. It's a wonderful honor. And as Ken mentioned, I have two children. My son went to law school here. My daughter graduated from the nursing program. But I think I had a classmate, Chuck, that was a patent lawyer. And you know that there's a school up the street that has something called the Oakland Zoo. I think you and I ought to get together for the foundation, maybe call this patent lawyer and get a shirt that's made, the Coop. So that'll be in the student section. We're going to create a Coop, and all the money is going to go to the foundation. Thank you all very much. Thanks, Ken.
That's a good idea. We're looking forward to that city game this year, by the way. But thank you, Senator Costa. And now, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Rich Fitzgerald, our Allegheny County Executive. His interest in economic development, redevelopment, job creation, cultivating a skilled workforce coincides directly with Duquesne's own continued mission. And I have to say, Rich has been just a fabulous friend of the university and partner from day one. He's up here and teaches classes for us whenever we need it, and he's always involved in the life of our university and our students. We appreciate it that very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our County Executive, Rich Fitzgerald.
Well, thank you, Ken. This is a great day for Pittsburgh. It's a great day for the region. And when you think about sitting here in between the two largest job placement centers in the region, downtown and Oakland, and UPMC's investment that they're making that was just announced a couple of weeks ago with the Vision Care Center with UPMC Mercy, what's happening here at this great university, what's happening in Uptown is going to continue the economic growth and the economic vitality of this region. And I think, sharing Senator Costa and Senator Fontana's words, and I steal something from Mayor Peduto, Pittsburgh has a rich tradition. And while we're moving forward with technology, we don't ever want to forget the great past that we have. So acknowledging the great Cooper name and what Chuck Cooper meant to this whole community in this region and his love for this community, that it will endure in this facility, is just a great way to again, recognize our great past and the tradition and things that we can be very proud of, that the next generation of folks will be part of it. To know that we're going to have the rapid transit system coming right through here that's going to allow people to utilize that and, again, continue to grow things in this great university that already has a great reputation in law, in medicine, in pharmacy, in business, et cetera. Will continue to enhance it. So this is a great partnership, a great relationship with everybody. I want to thank the folks from UPMC, Diane and Leslie and the whole team for their continued commitment to this region. And this, again, let's celebrate this great day. Congratulations to President Gormley, the entire administration, and Duquesne. Thank you.
Don't fret, we're 1/16 of the way through. So, when you watch athletic contests or events or games, you can always look back on a couple key plays early that made a victory possible. And so I want to take you inside a room. We had been working with Bill Strom and Jay Ferguson for about 12 months on how the Merle E. and Olive Lee Gillen Foundation could look at potential support of the project. And Bill and Jay have the ultimate professional style, and they hold their cards a little close. So came the day that we were talking about what could be. And I remember looking over at Brian Colonna, pale white, beating sweat, his first experience in this type of thing, and it was fantastic. And so what we learned from Bill and Jay is that they made the key play. They made a key play for us that ultimately helped lead us to victory. The gift from the Merle E. and Olive Lee Gillen Foundation will create the Gillen Center for Academic Success and the Gillen Pavilion, which will feature a new Hall of Fame. The Academic Center will be one of the most unique in the country. It'll feature a 150-seat lecture hall, academic commons, individual instruction rooms for academic growth. The new Hall of Fame will have a kiosk that will recognize Duquesne's rich athletic history, Duquesne's rich history, and will be located on an open concourse with views of the city for all to see. We're so pleased and so blessed to have the support of the foundation. We thank Bill Strom, Jay Ferguson, Mike Michaels. With us here today are Bill and Jay to share a few words on behalf of the foundation.
Morning. Leslie, Diane, congratulations. And Chuck, I think for years to come, your dad and Merle will look down on this building with a lot of great memories and a lot of time spent together, especially their time at PNC together. For those of you who may not know or remember, Merle Gillian was the CEO and chairman, and equally as important, if not more so, the architect of what PNC Financial Services is today. Together with his beloved wife, Olive Lee, they created the Merle E. and Olive Lee Gillian Foundations. And Mike Michael and Bill Strom and I, as David has said, have served as the directors of the foundation since its inception in 2013. Over the ensuing years, we have endeavored to make grants to those entities that Merle and Olive Lee supported during their lifetimes, such as Bethlehem Haven, the Parks Conservancy, and Pitcairn Borough, where both Olive Lee and Merle grew up. First and foremost in their minds, however, was the passion and love that Merle had for his alma mater, Duquesne University. And now I'd like to ask Bill just to elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, thank you, Ken, Dave, and Brian for giving me the opportunity to speak. And it's really an honor for me to speak on behalf of this foundation. Merle, Olive Lee, and their son, Mark, who are none of them are with us anymore, played a very important role in my life, the life of my family, and the life of my wife, Allison, who's here today. So it's quite a moving experience for me. But I want to make light of one thing, Dave. It was Jay that was holding his hands close to the vest. To me, this was a no-brainer. But I want to tell you a little bit about Merle and Olive Lee. They grew up in Pitcairn, lifetime partners. And I do want to focus on Merle's accomplishments, but without Olive Lee, those weren't going to happen. And if you knew Merle and you knew Olive Lee, you know what I'm talking about. But early on, Merle came to Duquesne University, and he loved this institution, as Jay said. And I'm going to give you I think, a pretty good illustration of that. You've all heard of Brian Piccolo, I think, with the saying, God first, others second, I'm third. Well, in his case, it's God first, Duquesne University second, others third, I'm fourth. He loved this institution. He also showed that love towards the men's basketball team. He was a huge supporter. And in connection with that support, he felt it was very important that those student athletes got their degrees. Once a year, and I don't even know if this is appropriate anymore, Olive Lee and Merle would have the basketball team over for spaghetti dinner, and Merle would preach about the importance of getting your degree. And it was coincidentally, when he got word that you did get your degree, you were invited up, or actually down the hill to PNC to have lunch with Merle in the executive dining room, and guess what was on the menu? The biggest steak that that kid had ever seen. And it's not a coincidence also that so many of those student athletes who graduated had their first jobs at PNC through Merle. So it's a natural. I didn't hold my cards close to the vest. This is a natural. Basketball, athletics, education. It's a perfect match for our foundation, and we're really pleased to be part of this initiative. Thank you.
Bill, our compliance officer, Rick Christensen, is still standing and smiling, so everything was fine. The Vinnie Vaccarello Center is a proposed indoor facility that will house athletic practices, recreational programming, community camps, clinics, and health and wellness programming for students, Duquesne staff, area youth, and community members. The story of this coming together is very special. It is about family, brothers, the Duquesne community, and maintaining relationships that transcend time. The best person to really tell this story is obviously Vinnie's brother, Eric. We're so grateful today to have Eric, Lynn, and Eric's parents, Mary and John, here with us today. We're so grateful for their support via golf outings, generosity, and their undying support for the Dukes. Eric, I couldn't think of a better person, obviously, to share a little bit of this story than you.
Take it to the hoop at the coop. I love that. That's awesome. So my name's Eric Vaccarello. For those of you who don't know my brother, his name was Vinnie Vaccarello. Well, he was a proud father. He was a loving son. He was a great husband. He was a good businessman, and he was a sheik at Duquesne. He was kind, he was funny, he was caring, and he was also one heck of a football player. From 1985 to 1989, he amassed 440 tackles, still the leading tackler in Duquesne history. He had the most tackles of a single season at 159. He had the most solo tackles, 192. He had the most assists at 80. He's a member of the Duquesne University Hall of Fame. On October 3rd, 2012, Vinnie and our dear friend Patrick Kersafi had a tragic accident and passed away. To remember Vinnie, my brother John and I met with Brian Colonna and started the Vinnie Vaccarello Memorial Football Fund. Over the past 6 years, we have raised money that has directly went to helping the football team. But more importantly, we continue to celebrate Vinnie's life while remembering his legacy. And we've had a few beers while doing so. Our slogan through this journey has been never quit. And thanks to the Vinnie Vaccarello Center, which is a great honor, he will always be remembered, and we'll never quit remembering him. I want to thank my family, my wife, Lynn, my mother, Mary, my father, John, my brother, John, all of my friends who have generously donated their time and money through this journey, and to all my friends for always having my family's back. A special thanks to Brian Colonna, Salt Life, brother. Bars at the back. None of this would be possible without that man right there. Also, Dave Harper, your friendship is appreciated and truly been a gift to me and my family. All the support from the Duquesne football family, especially Coach Schmidt, Rosado, Doria, Coach McCann, who was my head coach. Thank you. And to President Gormley. This man has recharged the university with his energy and passion. I want to thank you for that. Lastly, I want to thank God for giving us the gift of Vinny for 45 years. And we will never quit, my brother. Thank you.
Inside of the Gillen Academic Center for Success is a state-of-the-art 150-seat lecture hall that will serve as home for a wide array of programming. We'll have academic sessions, personal development programming, mentoring skills, life skills development, which we'll say a little bit more about here in a bit. But this was made possible by the support and generosity of the Berchiani family. Arnie, Leslie, Aiden, and Leah are all here with us today. Thank you. But there's another unique story about the naming behind, the origin and naming behind this area. And to share that, Arnie Berchiani.
Well, it's an honor to be up here. So in 1990, when I arrived here at Duquesne University on my way in pursuit of a degree in physical therapy, I quickly learned the importance of the mission of the university, which has inspired my life, which is to serve God by serving students. And I learned that and realized very quickly, working for Father Hogan, which we'll learn more about here. This institution as well, but Father Hogan taught me. He didn't teach me in a way of lecturing. He taught me in a way of he served students. And everything he did every day, I worked in student life with him. And just to watch his attention to detail, to serve those students, was crucial in my career later in healthcare and leadership. And so one of the crucial items I learned in Rango School of Health Science as well, I was involved with Rango's and student life, as I mentioned, but also got very involved with campus ministry. It became clear that as a leader into the future, my responsibility, I kind of took that and said, really, I need to serve God by serving others, whether it be my employees, whether it be the patients that we serve. And as a leader, that was my purpose. And I learned that here at this institution. I didn't learn it in some very difficult classes in physical therapy and other things that went on, but it was very much a part of this institution. And so this lecture center or academy will be around leadership development, which you'll hear more about. But God afforded me in many ways the gifts that I gained here to be a genuine leader, to be authentic. And I think we're really at a time where we need to focus on that for the leaders of the future, so they can make the right decisions each day between right and wrong. There's a lot of temptations out there, a lot of challenges. And I think at this university, which has the mission of serving God by serving students, if we can have our students leave here with that spirit and belief, and what I saw from Father Hogan and how he inspired me and my life to turn around and go out and serve others. So our student athletes, our goal in our family is our commitment is to impact those students. The student athletes who are just tremendous at this university, but also the Father Hogan, he also has an endowed scholarship. So students that receive funds from that scholarship, we'd like to have them come into this kind of an academic leadership center, which you'll hear more about here. We also, with the pursuit of the university, looking at Catholic high schools in the Mon Valley area, in addition to the greater Pittsburgh area, inviting students in Catholic education to come here and learn about what it takes to be a leader and to serve others. And again, leadership's not always being the executive or CEO of an organization. People lead at every level and every day. And if they can leave this university with that in mind, what a great thing. So our family, and with collaboration and everything that Father Hogan has inspired in my life, we want to help make authentic leaders and put a lot of commitment into what we can, whatever we can do to make sure that people are making the right decisions. And, I'd like to end with something that I, that was really kind of inspired me. And, Father Hogan, as great as you are, Okay, this quote from Mother Teresa. I mean, you're there, you're up there, but I think it's just such a wonderful thing and something I applied in my business life in the home health care and hospice industry, and each day. And this is a lady who gave up everything, every material thing, to enter into to be right with the poor, to care for people. And when she was asked by people, how did you do that? How did you go that far? And what she said was, they're Jesus. Each one is Jesus in a distressing disguise. Just think about the power of that. We as a Catholic university have the ability not only with our student athletes, but with our students in general. But can you imagine the impact Duquesne alumnus can make in society if they can just take a little bit of that and view each day with that lens? And I'm happy to be part of this. Our family's happy to be part of this leadership center, and really in honor of Father Hogan as time goes on as well, and the students that are able to receive funds from his endowment, and the student athletes that are here, and then finally, hopefully, students that we can bring in from Catholic schools in the Mon Valley and in the greater Pittsburgh area, which tie in real well to what we're doing at the university.
So, Father Hogan, obviously, when your name adorns the Father Sean Hogan Lecture Hall, you're first on the docket. All right. Also housed within the Gilland Academic Success Center will be a newly created leadership academy, the PNC Leadership Academy. The academy will offer programming pillars focused on servant leadership, career pathways, winning life habits, and inspiring and impacting others. It is the university's mission to continually help our students evolve their skills and broaden their person as they take the most critical steps in discovering and launching their life and career pathways. PNC helped us develop this concept. Not only are they providing financial support, but more importantly, they provided help with strategic pillars. They're going to provide help with intellectual capital as our students learn life skills in personal finance, planning, leadership, across the board. In addition to that, our student athletes will have the opportunity to interact with the best and brightest from PNC, to be able to discover themselves potential career pathways, whether it's in financial services or elsewhere. We are so blessed today to have with us Lou Costello, who's the PNC Regional President for Pittsburgh and Southwestern Pennsylvania. Lou. Joe Rocky, Executive Vice President and Chief Risk Officers with the PNC Financial Services Group. Andrea Carilli, Senior Vice President and Director of Client and Community Relations. And Megan Gilson, Assistant Vice President and Client and Community Relations. To speak on behalf of PNC, Joe Rocky.
Good afternoon, everyone. When you're this far into the program, the most important thing I think is to be brief, but I do want to point out a couple things about PNC's connection here. You heard through the Cooper family the connection to Mr. Cooper himself. Of course, you heard about Merle and the connection of PNC and what he did. I want to just briefly mention that I had a conversation with B.B. Flannery a couple years ago, and to know how real this was, I had never met B.B. before. We were simply at a basketball game talking, and he heard I was from PNC, and he pointed out to me how instrumental Merle was in his and many other athletes' activities and how they got their career started. So being part of the PNC Leadership Academy and having PNC connected to this great expansion of the Palumbo Center and now the UPMC facility, it is a great honor for PNC to extend our connection to Duquesne University. We congratulate UPMC, the Cooper family, certainly Ken and Dave for everything that you guys have done. And we could not be happier than to be part of this as we continue forward with the many years of PNC's involvement at Duquesne University. So thank you.
Another unique feature of this project will be the Joe and Kathy Gio Practice and Player Development Center. This area will take our existing practice facility, add new team and dining areas, open the basketball offices, and add an observatory balcony to host prospective student athletes and become one of the best player development centers in college basketball. Taking advantage of the 2 full courts we have, this feature will add a daily heartbeat that will form our competitive core in both men's and women's basketball. Joe and Kathy couldn't be here today, so I want to express my sincere thanks for your generosity and support. Again, another early win for us. We send them our gratitude, and like so many, their generosity made this vision a reality. As you may have noticed in all of this, a key focus of this project is to fully support our student athletes in the development of their academic minds, character, life skills, and physical abilities. Focusing on physical abilities, the John and Karen Foligno Sports Performance Center will create an active space that will engage Forbes Avenue and include over 10,000 square feet that houses the total sports performance model. It will include weightlifting space, sports performance space, a nutrition lab, and we'll be able to customize workouts for all of our teams and student athletes. Being able to fully activate a total performance model is critical to competing, and this will be the epicenter for building competitive capabilities. It has been such a joy to get to know John and Karen throughout this process. We're so blessed to have their generosity, and we're so glad they could be with us today. John, please come up.
Seems to be a Pit Karen thing. Well, my dad grew up in Wall, so that's right down the road, so it's not too bad. I can't let Eric one-up me, even if I risk Father Hogan running me off the stage. I was a sheik too there. So, there you go. My wife Karen, myself, my middle daughter Amanda, we all graduated here. We're blessed to be here. You know, on behalf of the Foligno family, the Holy Ghost Fathers, the university, the board of directors, President Gormley, AD Harper, we thank you very much for including us in on today. It's just a blessing to be here. Anything I could say today is the vision that these men had was unbelievable. The fortitude, as a business owner in this community, building businesses and relationships my whole life, you have no idea what it takes. You have to be out every night, the phone's beating, the breakfast, lunch, and rubber chicken dinners, they persist all the time. But guess what? They got the job done. You know, my mother always said, you know, you don't become big by thinking small. Ma, I tell you what, Duquesne did it right today. They really did. If she doesn't see it on the news, I'll make sure to tell her in Jeanette, Pennsylvania today. I was fortunate enough to meet Jim Lovell. I don't know if anybody knows Jim, but he was the famous astronaut that Tom Hanks played in Apollo 13. And when I spoke to him one time, he had a statement he made to a group of us that always followed me. And to me, it was today's theme. There are people who make things happen. There are people who watch things happen. There are people who wonder what happened. To be successful, you need to make things happen. I don't know if anything could be any truer than these gentlemen on the stage, than the board of directors, than the Holy Ghost Fathers. They stepped up and they made something happen. And if I'm missing something, please let me know. This opportunity wouldn't be here. This as Leslie said, it is a crown jewel. This is going to be the gateway of Forbes Uptown, and I think it's going to be an amazing thing. But you know, if there's one thing that I want to deliver today, just real briefly, it's the fact that the administration did their part. The alumni and the community have to continue to do their part. We need to continue to reach out to people. We need to bring them in, because this won't be the only thing that's going to happen on Duquesne University or Uptown. This is a big thing for the city, and it's a big thing for Duquesne University. So I wish everybody the best, and thank you very much, and go Dukes.
And so 2 other areas to highlight are the Shamming Family Basketball Suite and the Cholwinski Family Department of Athletics Suite. It's been a pleasure for me to work with the Shamming family. As I learned from the family, Jim was, as Merle E. Gillen was, a passionate Duquesne basketball fan. His generosity helped support the program historically and now continues into the future. His wife Janice, son Billy, and daughter Diane worked with us to ensure that Jim would be proud of the steps we were taking going forward. We are so grateful to the Shamming family, so grateful for their support, and today we're so honored that Diane Hupp is here to represent the family. Diane? Thank you so much to the Shamming family. I actually met Jerry Cholwinski before I started at Duquesne. I was going to start work, and there was a golf outing out at Laurel Valley, and I was struck by 2 things. One, anybody that has met Jerry knows he is true Pittsburgh. Passionate, giving, selfless, and loves to coach from the chair, right? Loves to coach from the chair. And then later met Janet, his wife, and really discovered who instilled all those great qualities in you. So, Jerry and Janet, you have been there from the start. We thank you so much for your support, and it'll be such an honor to have your name where we work every day. Thank you. On a day filled with thank you as a theme, if we listed everybody individually who supported this project or play a role, we'd be here till Wednesday. There's lunch waiting, and I'm not getting in front of people and their food. My dad would be tapping me on the shoulder with a glare right now. But there are some key people I want to recognize that supported this project in most critical ways. Parkhurst and Eaton Park Hospitality will be working with us on the new concessions planning and new premium seating service and dining areas. Barnes & Nobles will be partnering with us to create a new fan shop. There are so many individual folks: Dan Chaco, Schneider Downs, Paul and Marcy Matvey, Keith and Carol Loisel, Fred and Nancy Hrinku, Reg and Barb Becker, Dave White. One person from UPMC I am going to single out is Doug Lucas. I think we set the record for emails and phone calls during this process, so thank you for being on the ground. DRS Architects, who helped us build so many tools to visualize this: Paul Calley, Greg Maggi. And there are so many others we're recognizing, obviously, on the screen as well. In addition, I'd like to thank past chair of the board, Marie Miley-Jones, Jack McGinley, current chair, Tom Grealish, Sam Costanzo, Scott Lammy. They all facilitated so many critical strategic conversations to get this done. I'd like to thank the board of directors and the spirit and congregation on campus who remind us daily of our responsibility to serve and think big. So many teammates that I'm blessed to work with at the institution: Madeline Riley, our legal counsel; Matt Frist, our CFO; Doug Frizzell, our vice president for student life; John Plant, our vice president of advancement; Bill Generette, fairly new to the university, but vice president for community engagement; and Alex Kozak, who played a role in so many government relations. Mary Ellen Solomon from Ken's staff, Rod Dobish and Mark Minoski from Facilities, Dr. Ian Edwards and Dan McCarthy from Student Life. And I'd like to single out two folks on my team that I have the deepest debt of gratitude for just a relentless work ethic and going above and beyond with proposals, planning, setting meetings, Brian Colonna and Megan Jarling. In addition, we have a logistics team that I behind the scenes call Good Luck Team for the next 18 months when we're out of the building. But Mike Skirbo, Rick Christensen, John Henderson, Paul Hightower, and Travis White, thank you. In addition to that, a special note, a gentleman that's meant a lot to me since my time here, and especially during trying times, Tom Hart. I would also like to thank Cindy Morton. She's ironically on vacation. I think it's because of the process of scheduling everything leading up to this. Cindy, go ahead and stay an extra week. Eric Kaminsky and Cindy Bauer put everything together today with all the audio visuals. And then I'd like to say thanks to all of our athletic staff. Duquesne Athletics is blessed to have tremendous people with tremendous strength and tremendous character. I'm blessed to work with you and call you teammates on a daily basis. And finally, to our coaches and student athletes, I've said this time after time after time. An athletic administrator's job is simple. It's to facilitate the success of coaches and student athletes. This was put together for you and to facilitate your success. We are blessed to benefit from your character and your person, and as we go through this transition, let's stay focused on our task at hand. Let's come back into this building with more resolve, more focus, and more competitiveness to represent this university well. And until then, let's win every next thing that we do. I can't tell you enough how grateful we are to have all of you in attendance. Everyone made this possible. Our deepest gratitude to all of you. I'm going to ask a few of our coaches, some of the administrators and speakers to stick around so we can help the press and media with their needs. But more importantly, I'm between you and lunch, and so we invite everybody back off into the practice gym for a reception. Again, thank you. Have a blessed day, and go Dukes.
Take it to the hoop at the coop.